Now we're going to talk about break, continue, and pass statements. So let's start with break statement. And what is a break statement? Break statement is a statement that terminates the loops containing it. So for example, if we have a for or while loop and we wanna terminate immediately this loop, we're going to use this break statement. So let's implement it in our code. Let's suppose we have while loop and while true. So this is an infinite loop unless we're using a break statement. While true, we're going to accept an input from the user, and this is a number. So we're going to store it in a number called and ask the user to enter a number, and we're going to say enter done when finished. And in this case, we're expecting from the user to enter some number, and if he enters the word done, we're going to terminate this code. So if this number is equal to done, we're going to break. And if this is not the case, we're going to print this number, and after that we're going to print done after exiting the loop. Let me go ahead and run this code. We're going to get enter a number, enter done when finished. So here we have 4. It is going to ask me again, enter a number 1 until I enter done, and it is going to print out done and terminate the program. Now let's use this break statement in another code. Let's suppose we have a list, let's name it X, and in this list we have some positive and negative numbers. So let's say we have these numbers -2, 3, -4, and 6. So we're going to write a code that checks for us if we have a negative number in this list. So as long as we don't have any negative number, we're going to pass through this list, and when we're done, we're going to print no negative numbers. However, if we just find one negative number, we're going to we're going to first terminate this for loop or while loop and print out that we have a negative number in this list. So one way to do that is to create a for loop for number n x. We're going to check if, let me just close this, and we're going to check if this number is less than 0. In this case, we're going to terminate this program less than 0, print this list contains at least one negative number. We might have more than one, but the first negative number we find, we're going to terminate this loop and print out that we have at least one negative number, and break. Otherwise, we're going to just simply print the numbers. So print number. Let me run this code, and we got these numbers. So we have 1342, 5543, 4, 3 until we reached -2. So here we have -2. We didn't print it out. We just checked if this number is less than 0 and this condition is satisfied. So we're going to print this list contains at least one negative number and break out from this for loop. Remember, we're not just breaking out from this if. This is not a loop. This is an if statement, and we're going to break out from the for loop. And after breaking out, we are done. We can add a code here saying that we're done. Let me run this one more time and we get the message that we're done. Now let's use this break statement in a while loop. Let's suppose we have x to be equal to 10, and while x is greater than 0, we're going to enter this while loop, and we're going to print the current value, and the current value of x is equal to current value of x is, and x. After that, we're going to check if x is equal to, or let's increment it, x will be equal to x minus 1, and then we're going to check if x is equal to 5, and in this case we're going to print that x is equal to 5, and print out one more time. Let's print uh, done, and break out from this loop. Let me run this code. Sorry, here we need to run this one more time, and we're going to get current value of x is 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 until reaching 5, and will be equal, x is equal to 5, and then we're going to print done. So what is this code is doing is decrementing x every time by 1, printing it. So here we have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 until reaching 5, and when we reached 5, we just print out x is equal to 5, then we're going to print out done and break out from this while loop. So now we have very good idea of the break statement. Now we have the continue statement, and this is mainly used to skip the rest of the code inside a loop for the current iteration only. So for example here, when we're saying that x is equal to 5 and print x is equal to 5, then we're going to break out from the loop. We're going to terminate this block of code as it doesn't exist, and just continue for the rest of the code. However, let's use continue here. So we're going to check if x is equal to 5, then we're going to continue, and if this is not the case, we're going to print out x. Let's decrement here also. Run this code, see what's going to happen. We're going to have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, then we're going to skip 5 and 4, 3, 2, and 1. So what did we do here? First, we created the variable x, which is equal to 10, and then we entered the loop while x is greater than 0, and checked if x is equal to 5, then we're going to decrement it, so x will be equal now to 4, and we'll use the continue just to make sure that we're not going to print x is equal to 5. So after that, if this is not the case, we're going to print out this and decrement it also, since this decrementation is inside this if statement, and uh, at no point in time we're going to decrement twice, since it is either this or this. And in this case, we got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and we skipped 5. Then we continued until reaching 1, which is greater than 0. So this is it for the continue, and let's implement it in another code. So in the next code, we're going to create a variable, and in this case, it's going to be a word, and let's say hello. So this is our word, and in our code we're going to check if we have the letter E, and if this is the case, then we're going to just skip it. So for character in word, we're going to check if this character or letter is equal to E. We're going to continue, and if this is not the case, we are going to print out the current letter. Plus current, and let me run this code first. So we're going to get, we have here current is not, sorry, here not current, and this is the character. Run this code one more time. We're going to get HLLO. So as you can see, we just skipped the letter E by using the if statement. So here the character, it is equal to the letter E, and we're going to use the continue statement, skip the rest of the code in this for loop, and go back and change the letter E to the letter L and follow the execution, the flow of execution normally after. Now let's move on to the pass statement. So the pass statement is a null operation and nothing will happen when it is executed. So this pass statement can be useful when we have some code, and for example we have an if statement and we don't know what we're going to do in this if statement, or we're going to type it later. We can simply use the pass here. So let me demonstrate it here. Let's say I have here the if statement. Let me delete this, and let's suppose I don't know what I'm going to write here, so I'm going to leave it for later. But however, if I don't write anything in this if statement, Python is going to generate an error saying that indentation error expected an indented block. So as you can see here, we don't have any body in this if statement, so we can use the pass, and now we'll get our code and it will work normally. So this is one way to use the pass statement. And we can actually add here that we need to add something. So this is a pass block, add something here, just so we can remember that we need to add something here and our code is not finished yet. So let's run this code. We're going to get, this is a pass block, add something here. And this is it basically for the break, continue, and pass statements. With that being said, this is the end of this video. See you in the next one.